Hello, YouTube family members. Welcome back again to my YouTube channel. If you're just tuning in, you are very much welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning back. I do not take you guys for granted. Thank you so much indeed. So today we are going to be having a conversation, a very interesting one at that. We're going to be talking about money management for young couples. I'm so sorry about the background noise because my daughter is here. She might be making some sounds here and there, but please pardon me. So let me add up my guest. We're just going to start up immediately. So the person we are having on the program today is I am so honored to be sincere. I'm so happy to have him on the channel. I'm super excited to have him on the channel. It's just been an honor, truly, to be sincere. So I actually have my notes jotted down here. So sometimes when you see me looking down, it's because I'm trying to like get some points I'm trying to put down. Okay, so my guest is already here, and yes, it's going to be an interesting conversation. I'm just looking forward to it. So without further ado, let me just add him up, right? Okay. Mm, it's okay, I'm coming. Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How's your day, sir?
Very well.
Thank you for honoring us today on our channel. I'm so sorry, my daughter will be joining us today.
No problem. Let her have the experience too, even from this level.
Yes. Coming. I'm just want to do something here. Yeah. Oh my, what's wrong with this? Okay, I think you're back up now. Yes. Okay, thank you very much, sir, for joining us today. I'm super excited. Thank you very much, sir. So
Thank you
today
for the
we're going. Thank you, sir. Today we're going to be talking about money management tips for couples. And the reason why I decided to take up this particular topic is because of the situation of the country right now. A lot of we couples are undergoing a lot of challenges, particularly on money management and all of that. So I thought it would be nice for me to have you on the channel to discuss with us on this particular topic, enlighten us, and also share with us practical tips that will help enhance us build our money management skills. That was why I decided to invite you today on today's channel, on today's program, rather. Thank you so much. I'm truly honored. Thank you, sir. So,
thank you very
I would like you to, yes, I would like you to introduce yourself before we go ahead with what we have for today.
okay. My name is Elder Emmanuel Savo Baba, by the grace of God, I am an accountant. I am a teacher of the word. I'm also a teacher in a church.
Right.
So much for about 14 years now, and
Wow.
I've been blessed with 4 wonderful children. I think that's just brief of myself.
Wow, interesting. 14 years. That's a long time. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Um, would you say, in your experience, as you mentioned from that you are a accountant by profession, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a perfect topic I want to believe for you to handle. Even being that you have also cancelled a lot of couples through counseling, I feel like you're a perfect person to talk about this particular topic with us.
By the grace of God.
Yes, sir. Okay, so moving on, will you share with us the experiences you have had with some common financial challenges that couples face? What is it?
Okay,
Yeah.
let me let me start by saying that money as a medium of
Okay.
exchange is very, very important to every individual, to couples, to families alike, and to also organizations. Whether we like it or not, money make marriage sweet, or rather, it makes it sweeter. There are
Hmm.
other things. There are other things that also make marriage sweet, but money is one of these things. Where there is no money, or there is no enough of it in the marriage, there are bound to be certain problems that will crop up in the process.
Hmm.
So it is therefore important to establish at this very moment that the man and the woman, the husband and the wife, must know from the onset that they need money in order for the family to run, because it
Hmm.
is the
Right.
medium of exchange, and without it, there are a lot of things you cannot be able to do. So it is very, very important that you set your mind to work hard in order to raise money and in order to also manage the money that God blesses you with. Now, talking about the challenges that couples have, with issues of money, like I've already, like I've already established, where the family is running through cash crisis, there are needs, and the money is not there to meet the needs. Is always a problem for the couple. The husband may be thinking, am I not man enough to meet up this responsibility, this financial obligation of the family? While the wife too
Hmm.
may be thinking, what's exactly my husband doing? He can't be able to raise money to do this just for the family. In fact, at certain points, if the cash crisis is so severe, the love of the couples may begin to wear out, and that is not good. So
Hmm.
the couple must work hard to ensure that there is a reasonable cash flow in the family that can sustain the family at all times. Now, one other
Right.
area that is a problem for the couples in terms of finances is where the couples don't have, or they don't understand, or are not working in line with the family's financial objective. Every family is very unique in the sense that God has given every couple, every family, specific assignment, specific purpose that they need to fulfill. And as a result, God also provide the needed resources for such assignments to be accomplished. And that is why the resources family A or couple A can easily access may not be the same that family B or couple B can access, because they have
Mm.
different assignments. And as such, families need to develop and understand what is the purpose of God, including financial purpose of God for the marriage, so that they will be able to work in line with that objective. Is it to maximize their income? Is it to minimize their expenses? Is it to invest the money that comes to them? Is it to use the resources that comes to them for charity? Or is it for what? So those lines must be set so that they will find it, easier for them to.
We can't hear you anymore. The line is breaking on our part. I think it's the network now. The
Journey
network is a bit
continues.
patchy.
The Sorry,
The
network
network was a
distraction,
bit
I guess.
shaky. Yes.
The other problem we may.
Network, please be stable. Yes, pray for the network to be stable. It's been an interesting conversation so far and an enlightening one. And I think the network
Marriages.
is a bit.
When the couples have this, later they should not call me. I'm doing something with my phone. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir. We can.
Another problem area of finances in the marriage is where the couples are so selfish.
Hmm.
Sometimes the man may be so selfish that all the finances of the home will just go his way, or the woman is so selfish. And this happens where the couples fail to understand this foundational issue in Christian marriage, that is oneness. When the couple fail to understand that they are one, and as such, anything they need to do is for the interest of the two and the entire family, you discover that sometimes the husband wants to spend on item A while the wife wants to spend on item B. And this
True.
normally happen more where it has to do with expenditure that relates to third parties, maybe the siblings of the husband or the siblings of the wife or the in-laws, as the case may be. So couples need to understand that they are one, and whatever they need to do as it regards their finances, they also need to discuss and agree so that they can avert certain problems that may come up from one-sided spending or individual spending, because they are no longer two but one in marriage, as God
Hmm.
tells us in the book of Genesis. So couples also have challenges in finances where they don't have budgets. They don't have budget
Hmm.
line. Budget is simply a summary of expected expenditures and also expected incomes. How we need to spend money on XYZ. How do we also raise this money to spend on XYZ? Now, if you have a budget of what you need as a couple, ranging from the basic needs of the family down to some other needs, maybe trying to impact on some other people's life by reaching out to them, you must have a budget line, because you know your financial strength. So have a budget line of what to spend on what. What do we spend on feeding? What do we spend on bills? What do we spend on children, their school fees and also their needs? What do we even spend on our siblings, our parents, and all that? What is our plan for our health and all that? So that when the money is there, you know that this is the purpose of this money. We cannot just spend, on other things, because some
Yes.
couples may have a kind of an impulse habit of spending. They'll just spend at will, just the way their impulses come, they will just want to spend. And as such, the money that is meant for
Oh,
some important needs of the family may also go down to some other things. So it's important to have
mm,
budget lines that can help the couples, to guide their finances very, very well. I think there are so much more challenges that we see in the families as regards finances, but I think we have a
right.
time lag, so we need to. I need to stop here so that maybe I take another question.
All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful enlightenment there. One thing you mentioned that stood out for me was the fact that selfishness do come in sometimes. It can actually be unknowingly on the part of the partners. Um, if they don't get to talk about it, communicating, getting to know that okay, this is what you're doing that is actually wrong. It's actually selfish of you doing this or that. I think that it can be an issue in the
Sorry, I can't
relationship
hear
in the long
you.
run. Oh, okay. Give me that mic.
I'm not hearing you.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me see. What's wrong? Can you hear me now, sir? Can you hear me now? What's wrong? Hello. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was talking about the parts you talked about, selfishness. It stood out for me. The reason is because I think most couples sometimes they do it unknowingly to them. Sometimes they act selfishly. That's to say, maybe catering for their own family and leaving the other family. It can actually be maybe them doing it unknowingly, not knowing that it's actually affecting their financial goals or so to say. I just thought I should just put that out. I don't know if you understood what I said.
Yeah, I understand. And that's why I pointed it out so that couples will be reminded, for those who already know and for those who are getting the information for the very first time, to also know that when you are selfish in financial matters and other matters as a couple, you go
Yes.
against the principle of Christian marriage. You need to be selfless, because marriage, as the Bible tells us, is a mystery, that one plus one is equals to one. So if you are your wife and your wife is you, what will you be hiding from her? And what will she be hiding from you? What do you have
Mm,
that doesn't belong to her? and what does she have that doesn't belong to you? So you are in it together. Her parents have become your parents, like in
Yeah.
the case of Ruth and Naomi in the Bible. Her parents have become your parents. Your own parents
Mm,
have become her own parents. Your siblings, the same thing. So it's a one big
mm,
family that God has brought together. And as such,
yes.
we shouldn't be selfish. Instead, we should be selfless. Because in marriage, this agape love we talk about needs to exist, where we need to sacrifice for each other, coupled with other forms of love like the filios love and also the eros love. So it's important that
Mm,
we are selfless. Otherwise, the wife will say it is my money, while she will look at the husband's income as the money of the family. You want to reserve her
yes.
own and spend it on her personal needs without even revealing to the husband, what is the source of her income or what she's using her income for. That is not
Mm,
right in line with the biblical teachings of marriage. Well, outside the
mm,
biblical teachings, some other people will find reasons to do that, but it is not right as far as the Bible is concerned.
mm. Okay, thank you very much, sir, for the clarification as well. Um, what are the key steps couples should take when it comes to money management? What would you
Talking
say are the key steps to take?
steps to take in managing their finances.
Yes.
Okay, like I've already said from the beginning, you cannot manage what you don't have. You only manage what you have. If a
Mm,
couple doesn't have money, what will they be managing? There will not be money to manage. So the first step is for them to map out ways of revenue generation for the family. What will the man be doing in order to raise money to meet the needs of the family? What is also the woman will be doing to raise money to support the husband in terms of meeting the financial needs of the family? So it is important that they also follow those uh, map out steps to work hard in order to raise money for the family. Now, once the money is there, they can now talk about how do we manage it. And one of the ways I've already said is the issue of budgeting. Have a plan. How do we now spend this money? And when you are budgeting, you try to do what? You try to be holistic. Don't just be one sided, be holistic, looking at your contributions towards the kingdom, looking at the basic needs of the family, and looking at
mhm,
some other needs. Basically, your budget should be on needs and not on wants, because some are very insatiable. So let it just be on your needs, what you cannot do without. You can't do without food, you can't do without shelter, you can't do
mhm,
without clothing, and of course you can't do without education. The children needs to go to school, and you can also
right.
do giving for the kingdom. So these are basic needs that you need to consider while planning your budget, so that when money is there, you are able to do what to follow suit. Then another thing that will help you manage your money very well is what portion of this money are you going to use for day-to-day running of the family? What percentage
Mm,
of this are you going to put into investment? Yes, you cannot put your tomorrow today, because by the time you get to tomorrow, you will have nothing there that will help to support you. So, what will you be investing? And then, of course, what can you also set aside in case of emergencies? The motives of holding money: transactions, precautionary, and investment. So you also need to consider that when money enters the family, you may have it as part of your policy that any income we get, we save 10% or we save 5%, no matter how small it is. Now, if you follow that, in a very short time, you discover that you've saved a reasonable amount of money that you can put in a, 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 a profitable investment that tomorrow you can see yourself growing financially as a family. So you need that. You need to have that at the back of your mind. Then outside that, you also need to spend based on this budget line so that you don't just wake up and begin to spend on things that you didn't budget for. Sometimes friends will just bring, some ideas, some things that you just need to do to fit in to the friendship. And as a family, you had not planned for them, they were not budgeted. It's wise for you to just say, this is not in our budget. Sorry, next time. It's wise for you to do that, not for you to just flew. And this is my son also joining. It's not wise to spend anyhow. You need to follow the budget so that you will be guided. Another thing again you need to do over time, review your spending pattern. How have you been spending? What have you been spending more on? Is it important that you are spending more on such things? For some of us in the financial world, you can take ratio analysis. You can also do trend analysis for you to understand, what and what you've been spending your money on, so that it can guide you, to trace your steps back and do the needful, so that tomorrow you won't suffer for a lack of planning. So it's important for couples to do that. It will help. Then coming to the issue of spending on food, the feeding of the family, why not buy your food stuff in bulk rather than buying in piecemeal? It can save you
Lots of money.
money that you spend on every day. You buy this 1 cup, 2 cup, 1 mudu, as the case may be. Why not buy reasonable quantity in bulk and have a level of stock that when food stuff get there, you know that you need to reorder. It will help you to save cost, and it will also help to save stress. So if you do that, that will also a kind of help you. You also need to be tracking your expenses. You track your expenses so that you'll be able to know the items of things that you are spending your money on. Some people will spend at there when they come back home, they are like, what did I really spend this money on? It's because in the first place you didn't plan what you're going to use, the money on.
Right. That's right. Thank you very much, sir. I've just been nodding my head. Okay, thank you very much for that. What would you say about those couples that have different lifestyle? One that is one of the partner who is a saver, and then the other person who is a spender. How what are the steps would you, or for me to say, how would you advise this kind of couple to be able to navigate this kind of situation? Because there are most of the time that the other partner is a saver, and then the party B is a spender, so to say. How would you say they will be able to navigate that kind of situation? or spending habit?
Thank you very much. God is so wonderful, and He brings people together in order to cover each other's nakedness. There are certain weaknesses you may find in a man that are areas of strength in his wife, and vice versa. So, if,
Right.
for example, the woman is so blessed that she's very meticulous in spending and she's very diligent, she doesn't spend anyhow. But it is the husband that will want to spend everything as it comes. His own is when there is a God will provide. When money comes, we will spend everything. I think there is a
Yeah.
need for the couple to sit down and talk. When they sit down and talk, is for them to plan it out that the one that can save, the one that can manage money very well, should be given the
Yes.
responsibility to help the family in this regard, so that the family doesn't run into crisis in terms of
Right.
financial management. So it's important for them to talk and agree on the rule that the person that can guide very well in spending, should be given that pioneer assignment to help the family. It doesn't matter whether it's the man or the woman. That can really help to the extravagant spending that either of them.
I think there are some men that will want to still be like, no, I'm the man, even though you are the spend, even though the man is the one that is the spender, they will still don't want to like give the responsibility to the wife to be the one to save and like give the responsibility to the woman to be the since she's the saver. I feel like most men kind of still feel that way. Like I'm the man of the house, so I'm supposed to still be the one in charge of the finances and all of that.
What the man is the head, and of course he's the financial head of the family, and he's to
All
do
right.
that with all fairness, and not for him to be mean in whatever thing that he's doing as the financial head. But then, if you know your weakness, I think it is good for you, to find a solution where you can find it. And if you can find it in your partner, in your spouse, in your wife, why not? Why not? I'm not saying the financial head position or the headship should be taken off the husband. No. But it's for the family to run smoothly that you can delegate. It's still under your supervision. It's still based on your approval as the head of the family that you are delegating these resources to your wife to help either keep, because anytime you want to use it, they won't be aware. And of course, you have to talk about it. So that will help you to cope the issue of extravagant spending. It's not taking anything
Yes.
away from you as the man. It's just for you to just humble yourself and find solution to your own problem, so that you don't just
Right.
spend now and just finish the entire family resources on extravagant spending. Because if you do that, say join your account, join your finances, join your money, or even open a family joint account. You discover that the one that is very meticulous in spending will be afraid to do that, because he or
Right.
she may be thinking the other person, will just squander the entire family
I
resource.
see. That's right. I wouldn't want to try that. Okay, thank you very much. Can you share with us some practical tips to help couples set and achieve their financial goals? I know you have mentioned some of them, which is budgeting and sticking to it, and then buying in bulk and all of that. And do you have any other practical tips that couples will need to um, put in place in order to help with their finance?
Well, I will still repeat this again and again. If you want your finances to run very well as a family, you must learn to spend on needs. Yes, you must just learn to spend on needs. Don't spend your money on wants, and don't spend your money because you want to show off. There should be a reason why you should spend your 1 naira on any
Right.
item, not just because you feel like spending it or because others are spending it. No, you should be able to spend on needs and not on wants. And the
Mm.
budget I talk about, you need to follow it strictly. Of course, there are some that are very poor in investment. You need to have like several sources of income. Maybe you are the working class. Don't just depend on your salary. Your salary cannot really take care of your needs. But if you have some other petty businesses that cash flows into the family, it will really help the family. So you must also work on your revenue generation so that you can generate more for the family. Yes, some people also will just want their wife to be a housewife doing nothing to support the husband, or we
Mm.
want to leave the expenses entirely for the husband without supporting him, even when they have the means. That will not help the
Mm.
family. It will not help the family in any way. And no matter how much you earn, always think of tomorrow, because by the grace of God, life continues. The tomorrow we talked about yesterday is the today we are in. And the tomorrow
Mm.
we're talking about today, by the grace of God, in some hours' time, we will be in it. So don't spend everything for your immediate needs and all that and forget about tomorrow. Because tomorrow you will still have needs that you need to meet for the family. And that's why it's
Right.
important to save a part of your income and invest it so that you can be able to raise more money to spend for the family.
Thank you very much. There's something you said about investment. I think a lot of people struggle to get like places where they're supposed to invest their money in. Apart from businesses, creating businesses and all of that, are there any other place one can invest money in? Other ideas that you might be aware of?
Of course, there are lots of businesses around, but we still have a lot of fake businesses that we cannot depend on, and we don't advise people to invest on those kind of businesses. Some people will want to go into this Ponzi scheme and all that,
Mm.
some online businesses that you want to get money so easily without laboring. Those are not good options for you, because in the process you will lose everything you have labored for. There are some petty
Mm.
businesses within the home that you can do, but sometimes we despise them. Yes, sometimes we despise them. Having a provision store is not a bad idea if you have the area you can do it, you have the capital you can do it, and you have the time you can do it. Selling, maybe children clothes, items, shoes, and all that wouldn't be a bad idea if you can, afford to do that. And if your level of income is so huge that you can go into some other bigger investment, maybe in real estate. There is no genuine land that you will buy today that you will lose on it tomorrow. So it's
Right.
very formidable. That's if your level of capital is your level of income is high. But you have to be careful so that you don't fall into wrong hands, because there are lots of issues pertaining land even within the city. So you need to be careful where you actually invest your money. While in the banks too, you can invest fixed deposits, not so much interest, but it helps. There are also some other forms like mutual funds that you can invest. and have returns, at the expiration of the tenure of the short-term facility that you may get
Mm.
from the. So all these options are there for us to explore. And there are people that really make great deal of money on the social media today. Just like you are doing, to get to a point that is not just giving it out to people free, you're also generating revenue for the family as a result of this. So people can think
Mm.
outside the box and find ways of investing their money in profitable ventures.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I think we're going to round it up with this question because our time is fast spent. Um, how important is it for couples to plan for retirement together, and what steps should they take?
Thank you very much. If the couples are public servants, civil servants, uh, normally couples think that at retirement they will have something to take home. And some people are deceived to wait until 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or
Mm.
some few months to retirement, even after retirement, for them to plan for retirement. That's a very, very, very wrong thing to do. The
Right.
moment you get the moment you get employed, whether you are still single or you are married, start planning for your retirement, because time is faithful and is ticking. Day in, day out, you are getting closer to when you are going to retire. So when you
Mm.
retire and you have steady income, what will you do? So it's important for the couples to plan together what they can do, you know. And it's important that at this stage, at retirement, your strength, your energy will not still be like, the days that you are still very strong. So you need to
Yeah.
look at planning and investing the resources you have now into businesses that will just be giving you returns without much stress as those times that you might have retired. If God help you to establish a company that gradually is growing, and at that time of retirement you're just retiring to manage it, you are even an employer of labor. Some other people are already there, you know, doing the hard labor for you, while your own is just to use your experience that you've gathered over the years to manage the business or to manage the
Mm.
company. You will just discover that at retirement you are not having much of a stress. So, but the family must sit and plan together, because you are already married, and based on our biblical teachings, it is still death do you part. So whatever
Right.
you do, you must plan together, whether for retirement, for children, for whatever thing, you are in the marriage together. So you must plan everything together.
Mm. Wow. Thank you very, very, very much, sir. Really do appreciate. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to have you, and the time well spent. Thank you so much. Thank you for those that joined in to the live today. Thank you, Shekina Oluwafemi Isaac. She said, "Have missed a lot. Just joining now. This sounds interesting. Thank you so much for joining in. I believe that you learned one or two things from this live today. So sorry for all of the distraction, like my daughter behind." Thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so, so much. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much for taking out time to be here with us today and sharing from your wealth of knowledge with us. Thank you so much. We do not take it for granted. And I believe that we all learned one or two things from today's program. Do you have any parting words you'd like to share with us before we end the video for today?
Thank you very much for the privilege. Um, we cannot
Okay.
exhaust everything just within this piece of time, but I want to
Right.
cancel all that have joined and all that probably will listen to this, that marriage as children of God is sweet when we understand that we are one. And I
Right.
pray that God will help unite us more, even in our
Amen.
in Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you
Mm.
very much, sir. All right. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.